Hello everyone. We will continue with the social reform movement and further learn about Satya Sodak Samaj. This Samaj was formed by Jyotiba Phule, who belonged to Gardener community and also led a powerful movement against upper caste domination and Brahmanical supremacy. Phule founded this Samaj in 1873 with the leadership of Samaj coming from the backward classes Malis, Telis, Kunbis, Saris, and Dhangars. The aim of this Samaj was to spread education among the women and the lower caste people, also provide social service to them. They also believed in gender equality and aimed at complete abolition of caste system. Strongly opposed upper caste domination and Brahmanical supremacy, and because of which they used Raja Bali against Lord Ram, as Rama was used as Brahmin symbol. Phule's work like Sarvajanik Satya Dharma and Gulamgiri became a source of inspiration for common masses. Phule was joined by his wife Savitri Bai Phule, and also together they opened a home for widows in 1854 and also a girls' school at Pune in 1861. They also gave a sense of identity to the depressed classes. As we all know, whenever the core value of any society is on the verge of changing, it is faced with the opposition, and Arya Samaj was the result of this opposition and to the Western influence within India. The first unit of Arya Samaj was founded by Dayanand Saraswati at Bombay in 1875, and later the headquarter of the Samaj was established at Lahore. The aim of the Samaj was to form a united front of a casteless and a classless society to free India from a foreign rule. Dayanand views were published in his literary works like Satya Prakash, Ved Bhashya Bhumika. He downgraded Hindu orthodoxy and also opposed the caste rigidity, untouchability, and idolatry. He propounded Chatur Varna system based on occupation. Dayanand Saraswati took inspiration from the Vedas and considered them to be India's rock of ages. He only gave the slogan back to Vedas and also called for a revival of Vedic learning and Vedic purity. He also believed in the brotherhood of mankind and also suggested Shuddhi movements. He also stressed on the fact and significance of individual interpretation of the scriptures and said that every person has the right to access to God. He also criticized Maya. Maya here is a materialistic luxury and also other distractions faced by humans. The views of Dayanand Saraswati was modern when it came to women. Samaj also encouraged women education and fixed the minimum age for marriage for both boys and girls. For boys it was 25 and for girls it was 16. They encouraged widow remarriage and intercaste marriages. There were several principles which guided the Arya Samaj, and some of them are: God is the primary source of all the true knowledge. God, as all the truth, all knowledge, Almighty, is alone worthy of worship. The Vedas are the books of true knowledge, and an Arya should always be ready to accept the truth and abandon the untruth. They believed that dharma, the consideration of rights and wrong, should be the guiding principle of all the actions. And the principal aim of Samaj is to promote world's well-being in material, spiritual as well as social senses. Everybody should be treated with love and justice, and also ignorance is to be dispelled and knowledge should be increased. And lastly, social well being of mankind is to be placed above an individual's well being. Now, don't get confused here. Though Arya Samaj was against social ills, but they were orthodox in some of their approaches. For example, they believed in Shuddhi process, which is Sanskrit for purification. It is a term used to describe Hindu religious movement aimed at religious conversion of a non-Hindu of Indian origin to Hinduism. They declared Vedas as the supreme power and not the individuals, and also they justified the Chaturvarna system, which we all know provides structure to our caste system. The Brahmo Samaj connected more to the elite Bengali population, whereas the average Bengali population found it more emotionally connected to the cult of bhakti and yoga. This gave rise to Ramakrishna Paramhans teaching, and also Ramakrishna Mutt was founded by Paramhans to bring into the existence a band of monks dedicated to a life of renunciation and practical spirituality. These monks were also responsible to bring disciples to carry on preaching, philanthropic, and charitable work. Ramakrishna believed in the fundamental oneness of all the religion. He also believed that service to man is service to God. He said that if religion doesn't sanction social reforms, then we need to change our religion. The second objective of creating disciples was taken up by Swami Vivekananda after Ramakrishna's death when he founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1897. The headquarters of both Mutt and the mission are at Belur and Calcutta. He was a preacher of Neo-Hinduism and Vedanta. He also tried to bridge the gap between spirituality and day-to-day life and successfully created a sense of pride in India's past. Swami Vivekananda promoted spirit of liberty, equality and free thinking. He also promoted the doctrine of service. At the Parliament of Religion held at Chicago in 1893, Swami Vivekananda made a great impression on people by his learned interpretations. The keynote of his opening address was the need for a healthy balance between spiritualism and materialism. The Theosophical movement started with the establishment of Theosophical Society by Madame Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott in New York 1875. They were inspired by Indian thoughts and culture. Even though the society was formed in 1875, it shifted its headquarters to Adyar, the outskirts of Madras, in 1882. One of the important members, Annie Besant, came to India in 1893 and contributed to the foundation of Central Hindu College at Banaras in 1898 and also Home Rule in 1916. The society related with and accepted Hindu beliefs in reincarnation and karma. They also drew inspiration from philosophy of Upanishads, Samakhya, and also Yoga school and Vedanta school of thoughts. They allied with Hindu Renaissance and also strive for universal brotherhood. Now we will look at another association, Madras Hindu Association. It was formed in 1882 by Veer Salingam Pantalu, and the aim of this association was social purity of movements and against Devdasi custom, which was common practice in southern India. Also anti-Nosh movements. Prominent leader of this association was Annie Besant, and she promoted Hindu socio-religious upliftment. The Servant of India Society was formed by G.K. Gokhale in 1905. G.K. Gokhale was a liberal leader of the Indian National Congress and he founded Servant of India Society with the help of M.G. Ranade. The aim of this society was to train the national missionaries for the service of India and to promote by all the constitutional means the true interest of Indian people. It also aimed to prepare a cadre of selfless workers who were to devote their lives to cause of the country in a religious spirit. This organization remained aloof from political activities. In 1911, the Hitwada began to be published to project the views of the society. G.K. Gokhale was also the political guru for Mahatma Gandhi. The society still continues to function at many places in India. All these reforms met with huge opposition and revivalist movements. The aim of these movements were to revive the orthodox beliefs of their particular religions. One such movement was Wahhabi movement or Waliullah movement. The teaching of Abdullah Wahhab of Arabia and the preaching of Shah Waliullah inspired this essential revivalist movement to the Western influence and degeneration of Indian Muslims. They called for a return to the true spirit of Islam. The leaders of this movement were Shah Abdullah Aziz and Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi. It was an armed resistance, a jihad against British. By this movement, un-Islamic practice that had crept into Muslim society were sought to be eliminated. Titu Mir, one of the disciples of Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, started Wahhabi movement in 1831. It was the first peasant uprising which was armed in nature against the British. They also fought against the Hindu landlords who imposed bearded tax. Kalbirya uprising 1831 was one of the important events of this movement. One of the reformist movement of Muslim was the Ahmadiyya movement. The Ahmadiyyas formed a sect of Islam which was originated from India, and it was founded by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in 1889. It was based on the liberal principles and also described itself as standard bearer of Mohammedan Renaissance. They based themselves on the lines of Brahmo Samaj and also the principle of universal religion of all the humanity. They opposed jihad, and the movement spread Western liberal education among the Indian Muslims. Another so-called reformist movement of Muslim sect was the Aligarh movement. But before that, we will learn about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, which was the prominent leader of Aligarh movement. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was a loyalist to British government, and he was used by the British as an ally against the rising tide of nationalist potential activities by Indian National Congress. Khan also became a member of Imperial Legislative Council in 1878. Syed Ahmad Khan wanted to reconcile Western scientific education with the teaching of Quran. He also opened school in the towns and got books translated into Urdu, and also started Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, which is now Aligarh Muslim University, in 1875. He also opposed some of the orthodox practices like parda and polygamy, also advocated for easy divorce, and condemned the system of piri and muridi. But in later years, Syed Ahmad Khan started propagating divergence of interest of Hindu and Muslims, which was in favor of divide and rule policy of British. Syed's progressive social ideas were propagated through his magazines Tahib ul Akhlaq. Another revivalist movement was Deoband movement. The prominent leaders of this movement was Muhammad Qasim Nanutavi, Rashid Ahmad Gangoi, and Shilbi Numani. The objective of this orthodox Muslim movement was to propagate pure teaching of Quran and Hadith among the Muslims and keeping alive the spirit of jihad against foreign rule. The Deoband school welcomed the formation of Indian National Congress. The Parsi reform movement was led by Religious Reform Association, also known as Rehnumai Mazdan Sabha, which was founded in 1851. It was a group of English-educated Parsis for the regeneration of social condition of Parsis and also restoration of Zoroastrian religion. The prominent leader of this movement was Naroji Furdosni, Dadabhai Naroji, K.R. Kama, and S.S. Bengali. The message of the reform was spread by the newspaper Rashtra Guftar. The Sikh Sabha movement. This was a movement for Sikh reforms, and the Sikh community could not remain untouched by the rising tide of the rationalist and progressive ideas of 19th century. By this movement, the objective was to make available the Western education to the Sikhs. To achieve this, a network of Khalsa school was established by the Sabha throughout Punjab. Also, to counter the activities of Christian missionaries as well as the Brahmo Samajist, Arya Samajist and the Muslim Maulvis. To tackle this, All the objectives and everything which was against the Guru's teaching was rejected, and rites and customs considered to be consistent with the Sikh doctrine were sought to be established. Another such movement was the Akali movement or the Gurudwara reform movement of 1920s. The Akali movement was a regional one but not a communal one. It was an offshoot of Singh Sabha movement and aimed towards liberating the Sikh Gurudwaras from the control of corrupt Udasi Mahants. The government tried to repress these policies against the non-violent and non-cooperative satyagraha launched by Akalis in 1921 but had to bow before the popular demands. Also, they passed Sikh Gurudwaras Act of 1922 which gave the control of Gurudwaras to the Sikh masses and to be administered through Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee as the apex body. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you. For more videos, please subscribe our channel.